Getting a PSA 10, that's really tough, right? That means it's a perfect card.
Okay, I'm here with Steve Garman, and I'm Justin Wickheiser, head of sales of Alt. Steve, you are the owner of now the PSA 10 Brock Purdy Black Finite Prizm, the most important Brock Purdy card in existence. Tell me the origin story of how you got the card.
It was 5 in the morning. I live in Northern California, so Niners territory, but I'll be frank, I wasn't buying into a box break to get a Niners card. I had just gotten up early and I was on an app and there was these packs of cards going for super cheap. Lo and behold, I bought a pack of cards for $41. And so they opened up the case, said, hey, pick the box from the case. And I said, I want the bottom right one. And then pick the pack from the case. So first pack, first box from a case, and then they opened the pack. We're going through the cards, and the first card that came out, I think, was a snakeskin Darren Waller. And so we were like, oh, awesome. Like, I got a great card. And then the card started moving a little bit, and they realized it was a Black Finite behind it. And then all hell broke loose.
What was the first emotion that you had when you saw the Purdy pulled?
Yeah, so when the Brock Purdy was first pulled, I think the first reaction was frankly shock, pure shock. And then being like, is that really the one of one? And then you turn it around and shows the one of one. You don't see a Black Finite very often, period, let alone, a rookie QB one. And then it was excitement. My fiance, I had sent her the link to the actual break happening and the card getting pulled. And I sent to her, all I sent was, oh my gosh, can you believe this got pulled? She sends back kind of like an eye roll thing, like, oh, cool. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's an awesome card. And then I was like, yeah, it's an amazing card. And then I called her. I was like, don't you think this is such a cool card? And she's like, yeah, Steve, that's so cool. And then I was like, well, guess what? That's mine. And then her reaction was almost the same as mine of, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I think there's a different feeling you get also when you put the card in your hand, right? So I pulled it at 5 in the morning and I had it at, 11 o'clock in the morning the next day. And then when you have it in your hands, it's more of an awe, right? It's like kind of your hands are shaking a little bit. You don't really know what to say, but definitely shock and excitement all at the same time.
Brock Purdy right now is the hottest thing in the NFL. He's got the odds to potentially win the Super Bowl. He's playing at an all-time level. Many people are calling him the next great one. I think it's important for the audience to know, what time frame did you rip this card?
So I ripped this card kind of right after the season had ended, right? After 49ers had the crushing injury to Brock Purdy. And really, although he was a rookie that had finally kind of gotten his day in time, he wasn't the guy. But when the card was pulled, I think it was right before his surgery for his injury. So it was April. And it was when people thought Trey Lance was going to be the starter for the 49ers. But I had seen all of the kind of the tape on him. I bought this card for $41. And I was really bought in on Brock Purdy even at that time. It was that excitement for me as well. But it was way before any of these things happened.
So you hit the card, gets mailed to you, comes to your home, and you hold it raw for 10 months.
That is 100% correct. So I held the card for 10 months after getting it back, and it sat raw in a safety deposit box that I had, and probably looked at it twice until I sent it off to Alt.
If I've learned anything from your journey, Steve, it's like you're operating on this instinct of faith, and it's paid off for you very, very well, because I think from the pull of the card to holding it to getting it graded now to when it goes to market, it's absolutely, in my opinion, worked out as well as it could in every single phase of this journey.
Some of my aspect of not getting graded, because it does look great, right? It looks like a great card, but you never know, right? You never know with a card. Because getting a PSA 10, that's really tough, right? That means it's a perfect card. And so you never know. And I feel like that was kind of like that box check that I would need to do to be like, okay, It's time.
We talked about the initial journey of the card. Take me through, if you can, why you posted the image of the card on Facebook, why you held on to it for so long, and why you want to sell it now.
The reason why I'm selling it now, right? A lot of reasons is one, it's value. It's gone up a lot. I frankly wish I didn't have to. I held on to it for a long time because I believe in Brock
Mm-hmm.
Purdy. I believe in the card. I think it's such a amazing conversation piece. I mean, at the end of the day, I've just held on to it because I love it. The reason I posted it was one, I think I needed to force myself to maybe put it into the market, but also it gives me an opportunity. Proposed to my girlfriend about 2.5 months ago, and weddings are expensive. It also allows for me to kind of gain more in the card field, right? It allows for me to diversify out, you know, get a couple of rookie cards that aren't specifically the Black Finite one of one itself.
I love how you said that, Steve, because yeah, you want to sell it for a reason that's a life need and it's going to go into somebody's hands that may hold it forever. I mean, this could be we'll see what time will tell the story. This could potentially be a contender's champ ticket at one point, or much greater than that, potentially even. And then you get the opportunity to do something in your life for your fiance and you, and also reinvest in the hobby. So tell me about Steve the Collector. How long have you been collecting for? What's your favorite card that you own?
I've been in the hobby since I was a kid, as probably a lot of us have been, but truly in the hobby, getting into sports cards has been the last 2.5 years. I moved back from North Dakota from the military sending me back here to California, and I was helping my mom clean out our house, right? And as we're cleaning out one of my rooms, because I hadn't been home in what, 12 years at that point, we're going through one of those, and I found a bunch of first edition Pokemon cards. Now, none of them graded a PSA 10, but I found those cards and I was like, huh, I wonder how I can sell these things. And so I started looking into it and I got on the breaking apps. And once I got on the breaking apps, started buying Pokemon cards again, kind of revitalizing that kid aspect. But I love sports, right? And so that's kind of how I got into sports.
It's amazing. Thank you for the story around that. The Black Finite card, base card in itself, is such an important card to this hobby. And so all eyes are going to be on this card when it goes live within Alt's next liquid auction, which we're very, very excited about.
If I got to choose who would buy the card, it would be one, somebody who I think loves it as much or more than I do. I think that's important to me. And honestly, somebody who gets that opportunity to hold it for a long time, gets the opportunity to hold the Black Finite one of one, the premier rookie card for Brock Purdy, while he has this amazing career, right? I've got the joy of holding it while he came back from his injury, and I got the joy of holding it as he kind of worked his way to becoming, one of the top elite QBs in the NFL. I'd love for somebody to be able to have that card and understand kind of how it feels and what it means through the rest of his career.